Are you ready?
I'm ready's ready. Um, yeah, anyway, Catherine Elizabeth, boy, that sounds like a name that is run for president.
There you go. Well, there's a little story to it. So, my middle name's Elizabeth. My mom started it. My daughter's middle name Elizabeth, Jamie Elizabeth. Our dog's middle name was Sugar Elizabeth.
Oh,
My first granddaughter was Audrey Elizabeth. My son married a Kelly Elizabeth.
no.
And so their first baby is Catherine Elizabeth.
Come on. Oh my gosh. Have you already have you ever cruised on the Queen Elizabeth?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Take a family cruise on the Queen Elizabeth. Wow, that's funny. That is really great. Well, gee, guys, you're warming my heart. There's 11. I told Tiffany, I said, Tiff, I think it might be just you and I today. Let's see what happens. Well, good. I'm glad you joined us. Cool. Anyway, well, good to see you, Karen. Hadn't seen you for a little bit, and a couple of you. I'm so glad. And Deborah, hadn't seen you for a while, so glad to see you here. What's the temperature up in Sevierville, Tennessee today? 22. What is it? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I had to find how to get back to the screen.
Oh,
26 right now.
26.
It should
Yeah.
get to 50, but I doubt it'll actually get that high.
Yeah, I was up for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Anyway, well, cool. But anyway, hopefully all of you have a warm heart and a warm expectation for 2024. And I want to talk about a new door in 2024 a little bit today. Try to keep it a little bit more relaxed. And but this, I don't know. I actually every new month, every new I'm kind of a marker guy. I like looking at these markers, a new month, a new week, a new year, especially New Year's. I mean, it's really is a good time for me. I just always like evaluating, looking back. I looked at all my plans I've had over the last 4, 5, 6 years and realized how much I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm going to keep practicing. I looked at all my smoke business plans and that's the thing with planning and goal setting is that you don't do it to necessarily hit the goals. You do it to become the person that inside that you truly are, but you just haven't maybe gotten there yet. So you just keep doing it over and over and over again. Remember, we keep talking about, a torpedo is not designed to hit a target. It's designed not to go too far to the left and is designed not to go too far to the right. And then it goes and it hits the center, or at least hits the target, right? Because they can't design it to be perfect. They can't design it to go straight on and not veer off course a little bit. It veers a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. But bingo, it hits the target every time, or just about every time. So it's the same way with our lives, right? You're never going to get it. There is no such thing as perfect, but there is a genius inside of us, each of us. I'm going to talk a little bit about branding today, and then we'll try to get in and get out early. Like school, let's dismiss you early, okay? Holiday dismissal here, but let's talk just quickly a little bit. Who has their own brand? You have your own logo, your own brand. Karen, that's your brand there. You and Catherine Elizabeth. That would be a great one. There's all kinds of brands, right? I don't, if most of you know Gina Smith, her brand is a turtle. I mean, she takes a turtle around in a baby carriage in her neighborhood. Literally, she has these tortoises, and you look at Gina Smith's social media and all. There's so much on there. Every now and then she will get her husband in there, but most of the time it's about her turtles or her tortoises. So branding, it comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, looks, and all that kind of stuff. Olivia, share your brand. You said you have a brand?
Hi, yeah, thank you so much. It was all business real estate. And it's just getting down to business to help people who want to sell with like people who tried maybe with another agent and it didn't work, or they're trying on their own and it's not successful, and we can provide a cash offer or try it on the market and get it quickly sold.
Right, right. Okay, cool. And then what you do with that's important. I'm gonna give you a couple recommendations on whatever our brand is today. Anybody else? Who else has a brand? So you go by All Business Real Estate, right? And that has a little history to it. Olivia is, younger. She's was feeling like a little bit people don't take her serious. She has a she's very good natured, very pleasant all the time and all, and her voice sometimes she said she would come across it sound like people thought she was too young, and so she kicked around and ended up with the All Business Real Estate. And so now you got to just keep doing something with that, right? And then how do you put it out there? How do you tell the world? What do you say? What it means? That kind of stuff. So for 2024, I really want everybody to get a little brand, and I'm going to hopefully challenge you to do something with a recommendation I have for you. Anybody else who has a brand that you've worked on?
Read like a long time ago. I did some R&D, rip off and duplicate. I saw someone using a logo, not a logo, but a slogan in their ads that was your personal real estate consultant for life.
Yeah.
So I put that on the back of my business cards, and through good service and whatever blessings, I do have customers for life.
Yep. And you're very good. It's paying off too. I mean, you just hit what, the top 10 in Florida, was it?
Yeah, number 6.
Number 6? Wow. Good for
Yeah.
you, Karen. Congratulations.
It's a miracle. I just think everybody else stopped working. So
No. Give the credit where the credit's due. You just are consistent. You keep getting out there and you're their consultant for life. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. That's perfect. Who else? Who else has a brand that you're working? Who needs a brand? Who needs a brand? And that brand again is unique. It's unique. You gotta figure it out. We have Joe Enriquez that came from Bass Pro Shops, younger guy. What is he going to tell the world that he could offer them? We came up with something simple. When you meet Joe and you talk to Joe, he's just a good old Joe, right? You ever heard that? Good old Joe. So when I met him and I talked to him, I said, look, let's use Joe. Let's talk about it. And so we came up with Go Joe RE. Right? Go Joe RE. And then when we wrote his bio, we just said, you always hear his customers saying, go to Joe, go to Joe, and we just played on Joe. Right. So, and again, doesn't have to be cutesy. It doesn't have to be whatever. It like Olivia's All Business Real Estate. Did I see John Whelan on? I thought I saw him pop on here. John Whelan has, he lives in Delray Beach, Florida. And he has Mr. Downtown Delray Beach, because he lives down in the downtown area, and he's been pushing that. And again, now sometimes you got to be careful. If you want to be locked in, that's great. I'm very fortunate to say that as a mentor, coach, advisor, that I have the number 1 incomer in the United States on the Wall Street Journal many times over, and he's always stayed in the top 10. He specializes in one little community. Now that community now has gone from $600,000 average sales price when we got started to about $10 million average sales price in there. But he's been there for 30 some years, right? But we branded him just for that one niche, right? And sometimes niche is where you can make a fortune. Andy Coleman, his niche is rentals. He made $600,000 last year in rentals, right? So a niche is really good, but in another way, you got to be careful you don't box yourself in, because you're a real estate specialist, not just a realtor and a house specialist. My biggest checks, my 6-digit checks, have come from more commercial than they have residential. I've had a 6-digit check from residential, but mainly commercial sales. So, you want to keep expanding yourself, especially in 2024. Walk through these new doors in 2024. Who else? John was on and he got off. I'd like him to talk a little bit about Mr. Downtown Delray, but he got off for some reason. He must have had a call or something. Anybody else have a brand? Who needs a brand? Let's see if I can help brand you immediately. Who needs a brand? Anybody? Who needs a brand? Just to get you think.
I need a brand.
Okay. So Deborah, you need a brand. Okay. Uh, you know, again, you have an interesting name, right? You could play with the name Booth, right? And again, it's branding doesn't have to be cutesy, right? And it doesn't have to be clever, and it doesn't have to be anything. You look at the name Nike. Now, if you had never heard the name Nike, I'm saying, hey, I'm going to start this brand new international brand, and I'm going to call it Nike. What? And I showed you the name. You go, what? What's that? Right? It doesn't matter. It's what you do with it, right? But and again, it depends on what you want to work, where you want to work. Deborah's up in the Tennessee area, in a really nice area, Sevierville, world famous Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg. Now, what are you trying to reach, Deborah? Are you more permanent homes, vacationers, investment? What are you trying to reach?
That's where it gets tricky because I do a little bit of everything. So far, I've helped mostly investors. As you know, I have done some commercial with Chris Dove. And then I've helped veterans.
Okay, so now here you go. You can be a specialized generalist. I'm a specialized generalist. There's not much I can't do. Of course, the number of the years I put in, but I just stuck my foot out there. Every year I tried something different, something new, took different courses, took different certifications. So you're a specialized generalist. So then you'd probably want to brand your name. Now, your name, DeborahBooth.com, if that's available, I probably would take that, right? And you don't want a real long domain name. Your domain name, once you want it to equal your email, just so when you set up your branding. But if that's not available, then play with the name Booth, right? In life there are kissing booths, and then there's real estate booths. I'm the real estate booth, better than any kiss, or you just play with stuff, right? So think outside the box. And again, that may be too cutesy for you, or too clever for you. Whereas like Olivia, I think at one point we had, she smiles all the time. Olivia has the most beautiful smile, and it's just practicing. And that's the best thing we have in our wardrobe is a smile, no doubt. But we started talking about smiling RE, right? When you use Olivia, you will be smiling, and then we wondered, hey, what does that say? And it wasn't professional enough. So she thought, wait a minute, what am I really about? I'm about all business. Don't take my young voices. I'm not about business. So she came up with all business RE. So Deborah, I would work around with the Booth. I would. Or if Deborah Booth, that's a nice name, you know. Up in your area, you could say, because Daniel Boone is from up there, you could say, hey, there's not anyone who hasn't heard of Daniel Boone. However, Deborah Booth is a name you should know, right? Because you're up in that Daniel Boone area, right? Isn't he from Tennessee? Yeah. In his home in Tennessee, the birthplace and all. I know I visited there. Yeah. So, have any of you ever heard of Daniel Boone? So because it's the D and the B, right? So I would maybe pick that up for branding. There's not anyone who hasn't heard of Daniel Boone, but Deborah Booth is another name you should know just as well when it comes to real estate. That's what I would do. Anybody else? So get thinking on that, okay? And I'm going to share something with you in a second, also to
I
tap
would
you.
like to have a brand.
Scarlett, go ahead.
I like to have a brand, yeah.
Yeah. And where do you sell? Are you in New Jersey?
Orlando.
No, you're Orlando. I'm sorry. You just said that. You're in Orlando. What do you sell? What do you specialize in, or what have you done?
I am a brand new realtor, so I guess I will do a little bit of whatever comes my way at this time.
Okay. Where do you come out of? What industry do you come out of?
I have been in the building industry working for builders for many years.
Okay.
I'm not selling though, just administrative work.
In being in the real estate business, Scarlett, am I saying your first name right, Scarlett?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Scarlett, if I were you, has any of you heard of the name Grant Cardone? Anyone? Any of you know the name Grant Cardone? Anyone does not know the name Grant Cardone? Okay, I didn't think so. Even people not in the real estate space, right? Because you pronounce your name Cardona or Cardona?
Correct. Cardona.
Cardona, yeah. Well, I would play on Grant Cardone.
Hmm.
I would brand you and play with that name. And if Cardona.com is available, I would definitely grab it. By the way, everyone needs a GoDaddy account because I do different projects and I have all kind of different domain names. Like I have newdoor2024.com. I have THERERC, stands for the Real Estate Resource Center. I have, I forget which one we just put up here. I'll share my screen. So I would play on Grant Cardone if I were you. I
Okay.
would, yeah, I would say, hey, there's Grant Cardone in the real estate business, but there's another. And that is, and then I would just put your name, a name you want to get to know. I would play on that. Why not? Right. And who knows? He may end up picking it up. But, you know, when we're talking about branding, it starts with a mindset. You got to believe that you are different, that you bring something, no matter who you are, you bring something different. And you got to then be willing to say, hey, you've heard of Daniel Boone. Well, there's Deborah Booth that you need to know. And here's why, you know, so you can't be shy. You have to have the mindset to do that. This is a little bit of branding that there's some things I've done. Like I branded when I got with EXP, I branded it EXP South Florida Group. So for the larger group in the area. The EXP Realty Luxury Collection is one that EXP has. I just put in a public pricing. I branded in 2010, and I actually got a trademark because I kept thinking out of the box. It was more mindset. And then I had a will set. I wanted to try to revolutionize the auction industry as well as the way people price their homes, right? And then the EXP commercials are general. The Distinguished Group. This came from when I have a 1955 baby picture. I won the most distinguished look. My mom dressed me up in almost like a little tux with a bow tie. And I never realized it until one day I turned it over in the back and it said one most distinguished look, 1955. That's where the Distinguished Group come from that I'm working with. Boca Life is a name that I've had since 2002. This is a local website, right? So don't be afraid of branding. You know, the mindset. The Global Luxury and Wealth Group was Jacopo Asiello from Italy. We have a whole thing that we're working on this. So make sure you keep that, like this domain name here. It points to, I bought this yesterday. I said, you know, I want to make something simple for this because this is a banner I'm putting out and some other promotions that I'm doing. So I went and I said, you know, I want something different. If you look up the number, the significance of the 920 number, I have a phone number, a vanity number, which there's a company called numberbarn.com. I use for all my phone numbers. So I bought a vanity number, 920 promise, right? I played around so I could find the numbers that went with promise because I do a lot of things with promise, right? So I have 920 promise. So I have 920promise.com. I have 920 real, related to real estate. So branding is so important, but it starts with a mindset that you want uniqueness. And it's not about getting clever and cute. It's about being, something that matches or what you're trying to accomplish and stand out of the crowd. One of the sites that someone recommended to me, and I have not used this, so it's Squarespace, because they said of the simplicity of it, of the way that even the novice can come in here and they can start their own little website, their own little branding. They could even do a logo. They're having a 20% sale right now. It's called Squarespace. I from this person who recommended it, I respect it highly. I'm going to play around with it myself. But if you really wanted to get, because it's reasonable, you could create your own little one-page website and play around with it. But what first thing you want to do, and you can get domain names from here, but I recommend GoDaddy. GoDaddy, I've been doing domain names since the internet got invented, right? I bought my defalco.com name as soon as .com started coming out. Someone had it and I bought it from them. I had a whole website called Domains Depot. So the domain space and domain addresses it's real estate. It's digital real estate. So you want to, and I'm going to put this in the chat. It's called Squarespace. This is something you may want to consider for 2024. Very simple. Do a one-page promotion on yourself, maybe to put out the social media and stuff. And you can even put a little free course on here, how to buy mountain property, right? Deb, you could do that. But first come up with your branding and don't overthink it. Keep it simple, but have the mindset that you bring some kind of uniqueness and find out what that uniqueness is. Ted, you said you needed a brand. By the way, this is, I'm going to share this, how to unlock your innate genius. Now just don't take the guy's garb and all. This is one of the wisest men I know. I listen to him all the time. the most profound thinker that I am exposed to. It's called How to Unlock Your Genius in the Market. He's teaching I think it was at one of the, I forgot what university, teaching all these big gurus about, I'm going to share just a little bit of this with you in a minute. But Ted, you said you needed a brand, right? So you need to, just try to keep it simple. Think about what you want to portray to the marketplace. You've been on and off again a little bit in the real estate business, really trying to get it going, correct, Ted?
Yeah. What I was going to say also is that as you talk about domain names and so forth, I have a domain name, tedsmyrealtor.com.
Not a good name. I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you. And this is a mastermind. Okay. So when I say not a good, and not that I'm criticizing it, but this is a mastermind. That's why I brought it up. And I went, stay away from, first of all, you're not allowed to use the name realtor in a domain name, according to the National Association of Realtors, but no one ever enforces. That's FYI. Number two is too long. You want a 5-digit to 10-digit name if you can get it, right? It's a little bit too long when you put it on a business card. And number three, realtor has the connotation of houses. Now, I'm very proud to be a realtor. I'm a realtor emeritus. I've been a realtor. I don't pay dues anymore because after 40 years, you don't have to pay dues. But I'm very proud of being a realtor, but you won't find realtor on any of my stuff ever. It's real estate strategist, real estate specialist. It's because realtor just kind of, hey, I'm a house guy, and I just want people to think bigger, because your mindset needs to be big, that you can handle a land deal, you can handle a commercial deal, especially if you know me. I will do your first one with your second one, third one. I've closed them all over the country with people. So don't use realtor in any domain name. Okay, that's number one. Very important. So what I would do with Ted, the name Ted, is very easy to work with and get creative. Or Cumberbatch. And did you pronounce your name Cumberbatch or Botch?
Batch, like a batch of cookies.
Yeah, batch cookies. Okay. So, why is it that most people will not go back to the real estate specialist they used before? Well, with Ted, they always come back. With Ted Cumberbatch, they always come back, or something of that nature. But come up with a name and Ted, I like the name Ted, like good old Joe, right? Like Go Joe R.E., right? You think about Ted, something where you can relate Ted with real estate, Ted Cumberbatch. I give it some thought. Yeah, I'd have to come up with something with Ted. But try to keep it simple, right? But everyone should have a GoDaddy account because you want domain names for different promotions and stuff. Number one. So with GoDaddy, what you do is, I'm just trying to think of Ted. Nothing's hitting me right now, but it will, I promise you. But the Cumberbatch, as I look at that name, there's a whole batch of real estate people you could choose from, but there's only one Ted Cumberbatch, something of that nature, just whatever it is, just try to make sure it's clear, it's simple, right? And try to make it where it speaks a message, right? Like Cardona, Cardone, most people know Grant Cardone, there's only one Grant Cardone and there's only one Scarlett Cardona, right? And I think you'd find me just as informative or something of that nature. So I would have some fun with that if I had that name probably. But Ted, you can do something with that. Play around with it. So, and do me a favor, send me an email, send me a text. It's just say, hey, here's a couple things I came up with. I'll bounce back and forth. Use WhatsApp if you can. I'm much better on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number, Annabelle, put my WhatsApp number in. It's the same as my cell number, 561-702-3757. Are you on, Annabelle? I don't know if she's on or not. Are you there? Say good morning if you are.
I'm here,
Are you-
Mr. F. Good morning.
2757. I just put it in there. That's my WhatsApp number and my cell number, but try to do it on WhatsApp if you can. Just say, hey, here's a couple names that come up with Ted, and I'll play around with it with you.
So
Okay.
I shouldn't use the one I already have because I've had that for a little while now. So I'll just cut it loose and do something else.
First of all, realtor, you're not supposed to use it, right? And it gets too long, and there's a lot of people use it. You want to be personalized. You don't want to lean on that, in my opinion. Yeah. So yeah. So just you'll come up with something. Just you put that brain to use and market it, because 2024 you need to be different. You need to be you need to. And again, you don't have to. We look at all these people that are so branded and successful. We think, well, we never be like them. That's not true. If you bring you just think outside the box, you will tap your genius. And I'm going to play a few minutes of that before we run out of time. Let me just see Viviana said, how does V Towers TC sound, Fred? V Towers. Why Towers, Viviana? How would you work with that? Is Viviana still on?
Yes, I'm here.
How come the Towers?
It's my last name. My last name is Torres, so it's my last name in English. But the meaning the meaning of it, besides that is my last name in English, is that I see my life as basically like the story of the Twin Towers, not per se, but I see my personal life and my business life as a tower of documents, which will be piling up, and building from the ground.
Yeah. That's kind of a little difficult to communicate. I mean, if your last name's with Towers, right? But a lot of people wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that because I'm a gringo,
Okay.
That may be a little tough. But I like Viviana. I mean, Viviana has just such a poetic ring to it. And I have a number of agents that have a name like that, and they'll just do vivianare.com, and they spell their name out with a capital V, Viviana, and the RE's capital, and they vivianare.com, and then your email would be info@vivianare.com, right? Don't
Okay.
be afraid of your own name, right? Because that name has a real poetic ring to it. I like Viviana.
Yes, once I moved here, I don't know why. I kind of phase out the Viviana and because Vivian is easier, and I always say Vivian to make it easier. But
No, don't do
that's
that.
me.
Don't do that. Don't apologize for your name. Viviana, you make sure it's, even if you have to put it on your website or whatever promotion, Viviana, and you spell it out. Just brag about that name. That's a beautiful name. I mean, I think it has a poetic ring to it. There's I'm trying to think who it was, what their name was, but I forget what their name was. But we did a whole thing around it. She can, and she had Ken in her name or something. I forget what it was. But Viviana, you could use Ken, CAN. But if Viviana, I just like it. VivianaRE.com is probably what I would that was just my gut. And then you
Thank you.
just, because RE stands for real estate. Everyone would know that if you're in the real estate business. So info@vivianare.com. I would keep that simple, right?
Thank you.
It's like Mike. I don't know, Mike. What is your branding? Do you have your domain name mikearecki.com? That's 9 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I had I would get mikearecki.com, because that name like that, like I have defalco.com. But anyway, yeah. So listen, have this mindset
So I
going
have
to
South Florida real
2024.
estate.
What do you have?
South Florida Realty. I have to hook it up. It's with GoDaddy. South Florida Real Estate Search, I believe is
Yeah,
what I got.
but that's okay to point to like a name, or you put it up as a search for, but not your main name with your email info at and without. Did you look up mikegarecki.com? Is it available?
No. Well, actually, no. There are other Mike. There's more out there than you realize. We
Yeah,
have a
okay.
broker named Mike Geraci up in Long Island, and I was getting a lot of his stuff sent to me.
That's okay. Get some leads. And it could be direct RE too, you know. But anyway, yeah, be careful with the real long name. I have a bunch of names like I have Palm Beach homes.com. No, Palm Beach I have a number name, but they point somewhere, right? So I have a lot of names that point. So that's so, but for your main name on your card, you want it to look significant. Info at or your first like I have fred@defalco.com, I have answers@defalco.com. So you know, you just work on it. Just work on it. But
Okay.
yeah, but your unique names to take advantage of. But let me just show you this here because I'm going to put this in the chat. This is so profound for 2024. Let me just share this with you. Take 5 minutes. Let me just take. It's 9:03. I'm just going to take 5 minutes. Don't if you're of a certain persuasion or certain opinion, and if you know some of us are, I was many years. I would if someone would have shared this with me 15 years ago or maybe even 20 years ago, said, "Hey, I want you to take a look at this." As soon as I would see it, I go, "Wait a minute, what is it?" You know, I'm so far beyond that, but this guy, I visited his, 40,000 acres in Tennessee. I've been there. I spent 4 days there. This guy is one of the wisest people, but this is about unlocking your innate genius, and especially in reference to marketing.
There is something called as a genius in a human being. There is a competence here which is capable of what nature did over 1,000,000 years, like that over the afternoon. If the necessary striving is there, you can make it into your conscious process. If you set up the necessary situation, success is an assured thing for that person. Small things or big things, it doesn't matter. In every single act, a human being longs to be successful. Life is an infinite number of doorways. If you're very diligent, you will open a few of them. If you're brilliant, you'll open many of them. But if you're truly vibrant, then they will open for you. The process of being successful becomes so complex for people that why they're working towards it is generally completely forgotten, and they will start evolving concepts of success, all kinds of concepts. What is being successful? I would like to… Can I tell you a joke? You're looking so serious. There was a man in India whose name is Shankaran Pillai. Okay, it's like John Smith. His son came to United States. Obviously,
For time's sake, I'm going to put this in the chat. I hope that I'm telling you, this is a gift. If you watch this 14 minutes, whatever it was, it is awaken your innate genius. When you're talking about marketing for 2024, I just put it in the YouTube channel. If you're on a cell phone, let me see how I can make sure you get it, because this is a real gift for you. It's a very short video for the content that it has. It's called How to Unlock Your Innate Genius, Sadhguru Answers. If you can remember that, or if you can pull over, take a screenshot or something. Here, let me put this in the chat as well. I just love this guy. I mean, every day I have his app. But this one is just so important for business people. Anytime people like, the Massachusetts Technology Institute brings them in to speak, the guy's profound. He's got something to say, especially as far as business and branding. But I just love that about if you're brilliant, it opens for you, right? And now you're talking about, again, that mindset, will set, and then skill set. So what he's saying, hey, with the right mindset, you'll eventually work up to where you become vibrant, and then it opens up for you. And this is where we miss it. We try to push doors open, or we try to think that it's some magic. It's just every day doing something a little bit different, a little bit better, thinking outside the box. Jacopo jumped on there. Oh, he's there. Are you there, Jacopo? You know, we are working on you know, that branding. He, you know, there he is. But anyway, when we were thinking outside the box together, because, you know, of, you know, he's a big investor and invest in doing hundreds of projects in Miami, came over from Italy. And, you know, he had branded himself as a broker down there and looked at the EXP system, thought maybe we could do something with that. And we're working on it. But, you know, that branding took place all the way to the Luxury and Wealth Group. And I still think we got something really cool there. Not only cool, but I think that, you know, it's going to prove to be, you know, stand out. I think it'll stand out from the crowd. And, you know, as we keep working toward it and not giving up, that genius wakes up that's inside you. So it's all there for all of us. It's just what we practice and not practice. That's why I did the December project of the greatest salesman in the world, is not to become the quote, the greatest salesman in the world, but the greatest thinker that then unlocks all these doors for you. So that's what it's all about, is becoming vibrant so it opens up for you. So just don't get off the call and not write down and put this on your to-do list and time block and say, hey, you know, the last three, well, 1, 2, 3, it started. Yeah, it's started on Sunday. I blocked for the next until the 29th of this month. Every morning on my calendar is blocked from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. And every morning it's about not doing anything but focusing on my past life and my future life, but staying powerful in the present moment. Staying powerful in the present moment, because there is no past, there is no future. It's only the present moment. But I blocked that intentionally because I said, there's so much more there that I'm not getting out. There's more genius in there I'm not getting out, and I'm not happy. So I said, when's the best time for me? The best time for me is first thing. Roll right out of the bed, just take care of a few things. And I said, I'm going to commit it to really taking all these things that I have there from the previous years. And now there's something that's calling that I got to figure it out. And you only do that with really being deliberate to wake up the genius that's inside you, because we all have it. We all have it. We all came from the same source. We have that genius. So with that, anyway, what, let's speak up. Let's talk about 23, 24 quickly. What's your big plan? Somebody talk about what you really see for 2024 for yourself, that you're going to challenge yourself even greater. Karen, you're number 6 this year. Maybe Karen's may be saying, hey, that was great, but this year I'm got it's this personal thing I'm going to pursue. So I'm only going to be number 9 this coming year. Or no, this year I'm going to become number 1. Karen, what's your 2024 looking like?
My 2024 is going to be amazing. I've started some things in motion revolving around magazine ads. So I'm investing some of my marketing in magazines. Had my biggest listing ever last year at 2.5 million. And when I put that in a 2-page spread in a magazine, I thought of a headline that said, "When only the best will do."
Okay.
And it's a big banner headline, and I had this gorgeous home under it, and it really popped. And so I've continued that in a publication every other month, where I have all my new listings, usually 1 or 2. And so it's got a nice spread. And then on the opposite page, I do a 2-page spread. I put my most recent sales in Lakeshore, which is my community. And we have 370 homes or so, starting to get really good turnover. And I have a very, very loyal neighbor base. So it's been really good to me. So I'm starting to use that banner in my headlines or my magazine ads. And then someone reached out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to go in a different magazine. And I started to say no. And it's like, well, I'll listen to your pitch. What is it? And they do the magazines that are distributed free in Publix. So had to negotiate a little bit to get it in my budget, but got the number I wanted. And I've got the inside back cover
Very good.
with that banner at the top.
Yeah, no,
So-
no one may ever call you off of that, but what you do with that when you go to see other people and list their homes, that's the
Right.
difference, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it does
Yeah.
help in listing presentations to show that, I don't just put it in MLS. I actually do market it. I reach out to past customers with these kind of magazines. I've got another one that gets mailed to past customers, and but I'm starting to use that slogan now, when only the best will do, on top of all my ads, and not just for the homes, but when you want to pick the best realtor, pick me.
Mhm. Very good, very good. And folks, when we hear people like that, if you're like Ted, just starting out or trying to really build your business, you think, oh my gosh, yeah, but but it's not, because she started the same way, Ted. She started the same way, had to figure it out, how to do this, how to do that. One thing you notice though, also talk about mindset. Let me just share this with you. When you go on the Mind Body Mastermind in Facebook, right? Our community, you'll notice Karen is she is one that will come in, and she oops, how come I'm in a different profile? There we go. My body mastermind. She's the one that participates in the 7-minute challenge, the other challenges that we do. You'll come in and you'll see Karen in here, and as busy as she is, so when you see people like that, it's because of the mindset first, and then the wheel set, and then she developed the skills. The skills came afterwards. Is that correct, Karen?
Oh, so true. And whenever my mind is not in the right place, I go to you, Fred. I go look at your stuff. I read your stuff. I come to these meetings. Yes, I've done really well this year, but just like Babe Ruth, I struck out more times than anybody else too, probably. I had like 12 cancellations this year.
Yeah, 12.
You know,
Wow.
by
Wow.
the end of the summer, I didn't know if I was going to have a good year or not, because the cancellations just kept coming for different reasons I couldn't do anything about. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not
Wow, that's
easy.
amazing, Karen. See, this is the mastermind, folks. That just charged me up. I don't know about you, because success is the artful management of failures and setbacks. And so the reason she made number 6 in the state, it was because it's a state, right? Number 6 in the state.
Yeah, it was in Florida, but
Yeah.
it was the month of November. Let me
Yeah.
qualify it.
Yeah. Okay. But still, the reason she made that is because she doesn't quit. Right.
Right.
And the
Oh yeah,
failure.
in August I was like fumbling, going, why is everything canceling? And what am I going to do? And I'm like, okay, get your mind
Wow.
back into it. And then November was like massive.
Wow, good for you. And this is one thing about the December project with the greatest salesman in the world, and scroll one. Hopefully you're all going through your scroll every day, practicing every day. Scroll one is that it's not all about success. It's teaching you to be successful. It's teaching you how to fail, right? Or not, how not to fail, as far as not giving up when things go wrong. And that's a great example. 12 fall throughs. Wow. How many deals did you do total in 2014? I mean, 2000.
2014. My
Hello,
memory's not that
2023.
good.
You know why that came out, by the way? You know why that came out? In the mornings, I've been studying my plans all the way back to like 2010, right? I go, oh my gosh, look at that. I didn't do any. Oh my gosh. And I didn't say I failed at it. I failed at it. I failed at it. I just thought back then is where I thought I wanted to go and needed to go, but it didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that's why 2014 about that. But in 2023, how many transactions?
23. I think I'm at 33.
33 transactions. And so you had 12 fall through.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been a much better year.
Well, no, it couldn't have been, because it wasn't. It actually was even better, because those failures probably taught you more and
Oh
gave
my
you.
gosh. Yeah. And that's when I'm mentoring agents and they're getting down on themselves and this is so hard. I'm like, you're going to learn something with every transaction, every single one. I still do.
And the fall throughs, you learn more. The fall throughs,
Yeah,
you learn more.
and the great takeaways are the things that you never want to repeat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are what teaches you how to be successful later, is know what not to do.
Yeah. Well, listen, be like Karen, unlock that innate genius that's in you, that innate real estate genius. Watch that I think it's 14 minutes with Saguru. And I'll tell you, 2024, you will be a new door for you. I promise you. I promise you. And I'm so glad you all got on. I couldn't believe it. We had up in the 20s. We still haven't gotten back to our post change in our morning calls. We were up to 40 at one point, but I'm so glad you're here. And anybody else? Karen, thank you for bringing that up. See, how many of that encouraged you? Oh my gosh, she had 12 fall throughs and she still kept going. And she did how many, right? Did they encourage you? That's the mastermind, right? That's why we're here. Olivia, did that encourage you? Because I know you had some real setbacks this year, right?
Thank you. I was just about to write in the chat. Yeah, I thought that was an amazing story. Thank you so much. So inspiring. And
Karen,
congratulations.
Yeah, Karen,
Thank
do me a
you.
favor. Yeah, put a little self video on that. Say, hey, Fred, thanks for on the mastermind this morning, but just saying, hey, I had to come and make the confession. I failed miserably. I had 12 fall throughs. However, I also had 30 good ones.
Yep, yep. And just to not to, what am I trying to say? All this while I'm transitioning to Medicare. Oh my gosh.
I didn't bring it. Hey, listen, here's a mastermind, guys. It almost came out of me. I almost said, I'm not kidding you, Karen. I almost said, now, ladies and gentlemen, for someone who, because I remember when you were doing the challenge, the 7-minute body challenge, right? You were saying, that's really funny. You took it right out of my mouth. Go ahead. Continue with that thought.
Yep.
Someone who's
Yep. So I just turned 65 this month. I'm learning what Medicare is all about, calling all these doctors, and it's a lot to learn. And my brain's already full, so I'm going to have to forget some things. Yeah, lots of doctor visits next week to get ready for 2024.
Yep.
But yeah, Fred, you're the reason I did not retire, and I'm going to keep going. So you inspire me every day.
Well, thank you, and vice versa. See, I am because you are, right? That's the African. Here, let me share. Let me bring that up. You know what, Karen? This is important. I'm glad you said that. Here, hopefully, I can put my hands. It's down here quite a bit. 1 second. I want to play this for you. I know you've seen it once before. How you like that? I started to pig out the other day. I went to grab a quart of ice cream. I said, "Get your ass," literally. I said, "Get your ass away from the ice cream aisle and go back to where the produce is." So now I'm not gonna put the times I did give into the ice cream dough. But here, I want to play this for you. Where is it? Oh, it's a pin post. 1 sec. It's only 1 minute, folks. You're going to be glad you waited. Hold a second. Where's my pin post? I think it is. Nah. Yep, here it is.
The story of Ubuntu. One day, a Western anthropologist went to Africa to study the social behavior of an indigenous tribe. He proposed a game to the children, and they willingly agreed to be part of it. He put a basket filled with fruits underneath a tree and made the children stand 100 meters away. Then announced that whoever could reach the basket first would win the whole basket and could eat all the fruits by him or herself. He lined them all up, raised his hand to give the start signal. Ready, set, go. Astonishingly, the children took each other's hands and started running together. They all reached the basket at the same time. Then they sat down in a big circle and enjoyed the fruits together, laughing and smiling the whole time. The anthropologist could not believe what he saw, and he asked them why they had waited for each other, as one could have taken the whole basket all for him or herself. The children shook their heads and replied, "Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the others are sad?" One of the sayings in the country is Ubuntu. It means, I am because we all are. It is the essence of being human. Let's always have this attitude and spread happiness wherever we go. May we all live our lives with the spirit of Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. I have a problem saying it, but isn't that a beautiful story? And that's what Karen's talking about. We're here for one another. Let's do it together in 2024. do chime in on the Mind Body Mastermind, because every time you do that and speak up, no matter whether it's, you're struggling or you're succeeding or whatever it is, share it, because other people need to hear it. I mean, and I mean it. Karen's saying that. I had a little setback yesterday of something I thought real big was supposed to take place, and it didn't. And it was really big. And I went, that's okay. What am I going to learn from this? But Karen, that just encouraged me for you sharing that, what you went through. What did Mike say? Another operating system like Windows. That's right, Mike. Another operating system. All right, folks. Hey, listen, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. Whatever you celebrate, just celebrate with all your heart, and looking forward to 2024 and then what we could bring together in the Mind Body Mastermind community on Facebook as well as here. And anybody else before we take off? Anybody? Nope. Okay, cool. Karen, thank you for that. Okay, share that in Mind Body, would you? That was great.
Sure. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye. Okay, Tiff, it's all yours.
Thank you. I'm working on turning off all the recordings now.
Thank
Live
you, Fred.
stream.
Oh, you're
Merry
welcome.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.